Good afternoon, everyone. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. As was stated, I am one of the co-directors and co-owners of AnimeKon. So I guess that many of you already know what AnimeKon is. For those of you who do not, AnimeKon is a pop culture convention held right here in Barbados, which focuses on really cool stuff. So we like to take a look at the often underappreciated aspects of Barbadian culture and really push them to the fore. So we have persons who can draw comics exceptionally well, who love to write sci-fi novels and fantasy novels, persons who produce video games, persons who play video games, persons who do animation, persons who do special effects at their own homes, which rivals some movies from Hollywood. How many of you know that for each of those things which I had mentioned, there's actually an industry blossoming in Barbados which does that right now? How many of you knew that? How many of you would like to take part in such an industry, to let your inner child come out and to work with that for the rest of your lives? I certainly would. How many of you, honestly? Right. So what happened a long time ago, I'm an artist, and I was at school. I won't tell you how long ago that was because I'll give away my age. But I was told, no, what do you want to get into art for? Why do you care about these things? You don't make any money with art. Become a doctor, a lawyer, or a bank manager. That's what I was told. So I went off and I put my passions and my dreams aside, and I went off and did absolutely such. But my heart always remained with the arts. So when my business partner, Melissa Young, she couldn't be here today, unfortunately, when she came to me with this novel concept called AnimeKon, I jumped for it immediately. Now, as human beings, I believe we are all here. We were created to create. There is no point us sitting down and letting society dictate where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to wear, what jobs we should have, because it fits what they want you to do. You agree or you don't agree? I agree. There you go. And there are a lot of different industries blossoming, just begging to come out, but had no support. There were no persons there for them to help them get their feet wet. And I'm here to discuss with you today, no matter what, if you want to become a doctor, lawyer, bank manager, that's absolutely fine. But if you have one of those often underappreciated talents, you are a writer, you are an artist, you can do stitching, you can do whatever have you. In video game production, for example, do you know we don't just need programmers for that? You need persons who are architects. You need persons who can sing, people who can voice act, people who know history, people who know philosophy, persons who can design clothing, persons who know body language, people who know a lot of geography. All of these things go into the video game industry. And the video game industry, for a lot of people don't know, is larger than most movie industries across the world. It is a humongous industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry. And there is no reason why anybody has to move to Silicon Valley or Korea or wherever to take part in this fantastic industry. You can do it from right here. When we had conventions in the past, we had persons come down from Hollywood, we had persons come from the big companies in New York to come and speak to our young entrepreneurs who are into the gaming, who are into the comic creation, who are into the novel writing. And they said to me, Omar, how big is Barbados again? 166 square miles. And they are like, the amount of raw talent that we have here dwarfs almost anywhere they have seen in their entire lives. The talent is so powerful. One gentleman, he's one of the executive editors for one of the largest comic companies in the world. He actually stated to a young man at AnimeKon, when you go home, apply to our company immediately because your work is so good. You can imagine someone telling you that? And this guy is one of the big boys at that company. He says, go and apply immediately. And don't mind if you don't hear back from us immediately. When I applied, it took me 50 or more times to get into the company. And the quantum of work which comes into them is so immense that you will have to try over and over again. But you will continue to try, and you will succeed. Your work is that good. a gentleman from one of the largest, if not the largest, special effects firms in the world. For every 5 Hollywood blockbuster movies in summer, his company creates 3 of them, the special effects for them. He said, with the lack of infrastructure we have down here, as in we don't have rooms like this filled with computers to help push the processing power for their computers. With the lack of infrastructure that we have down here, some of the special effects that he has seen, some of the animation that he has seen has blown his mind away completely. You do not have to go to California to pursue your dreams. All you need is a solid internet connection and persons around you who care and can give you constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is one of the most important things that you need to succeed in any industry, whether it's an established industry or an industry you're now looking to get into. There are 2 types of people you should avoid: the yes men and the no men. The no men, no matter what they tell you or what you tell them, the answer is no, it's not going to work. When Melissa and I first started AnimeKon, somebody said to me, what will AnimeKon be about? And I said, well, it's going to do a bit of comics, foolishness, and animation, nonsense, and graphics and gaming. Are you mad or what? This is rubbish. Those are the type of people you need to stay away from. And you also need to stay away from yes men. They would see you running towards the edge of the cliff and go, yes, yes, you can do it. And then when you are falling, they're like, oh dear. See you later. Nice knowing you. So these are very important things to note when you're charting your future forward. There's nothing wrong with sitting down with like-minded individuals, creating your own industry if you have to. There's nothing absolutely wrong being a pioneer in any industry you want to be. Do you guys play video games? Any of you? Yeah, a couple of you. I'm sure it's more than that. But where would the modern video game be if 2 guys in their garage did not sit down and invent Pong? Where would it be? Where would we be right now? I see a lot of Apple iPads in the audience. If Steve Jobs didn't get his first start, or Bill Gates, or whomever, it always takes somebody, a revolutionary, to start the industry. Do not be afraid to be that revolutionary. Do not be afraid to start your own industries, your own businesses, to think outside of the box and go against the grain. That is where true power and true strength comes from. You were all created to create. There's an analogy I always use, I will say this in closing, that if you go to rum shops, the odds are you will drink rum. But if you hang around with a lot of like-minded individuals and persons who are thinking in a way similar to how you think, the synergies will be created, the strengths will be created. The way forward will be your rum. So everyone, thank you for having me here this afternoon, and it's been a great convention, and I want you to enjoy the rest of it. Have a good afternoon.